Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to yet another video. Today we are ranking the League One stadiums for the upcoming 22-23 season. Let me know your thoughts down below, which grounds are your favourites, which you've had the best away days at, etc. Do drop a like, let's get 100 likes, and do remember to hit that subscribe button. Let's just show you how this is going to work. We've got the class category, the great category, decent and small. The 24 League One teams for the upcoming season are across the bottom. Obviously, you might be biased, you might want to put your own stadiums up at the top, but try and be realistic at the same time. This is my view anyway. Exeter City are first up, and it's St James's Park. Not quite the Newcastle St James's Park, but this ground's okay to be fair. Obviously, they were in League 2 last season, and their ground holds 8,800. It's one I haven't been to be honest. It's obviously a bit of a mission to get to if you're not from the southwest. I'm going to say Exeter's ground is decent. It's not one of the smallest in the division, but it's not one of the biggest either. Decent for Exeter. Next up, we've got Peterborough United. I've done this one a couple of times. Obviously, London Road, 15,000. In the Championship, I said it was a small ground, but now they're in League One. I'd say it's a very good ground, to be honest. I like this one. It's fairly simple in its design, but you can build a decent atmosphere. Obviously, when I've been, I've had different experiences in the away ends. Once I sat by the side, and then the other time I sat behind the goal. I prefer it when an away end is behind the goal. Decent stadium this, well, more than decent. I'm going to say Peterborough, great stadium, London Road. Next up, we've got Burton. I've done this one as well, the Pirelli. It holds 7,000, so it's not one of the biggest in this division. I respect what Burton are doing. Obviously, it's about right for the size of club. It's not like they'd fill a 10,000 seater stadium, so it is about right for Burton Albion. But in League One, it is a small stadium. Next up, we've got Cheltenham, a ground I have been to as well, Wadden Road. It also holds the same as Burton Albion, 7,000. I like this one, to be fair. Obviously, the away end wasn't behind the goal when I went. I was sat on the side, but I think the away end is sometimes behind the goal. It was a low attendance. I think I went for like a Checker Trade Papa John's trophy game. Okay atmosphere. I'd prefer to go for a league game, and obviously they're doing very well in League One, but it is a small stadium, so I'm going to put it in small. Next up, Bristol Rovers. I like this ground. I've been, and it's so unique, and I think the atmosphere is seriously underrated at this one. I went to this thinking it'd be a decent atmosphere. It's a middle of the range size stadium. No, I was really impressed. The Bristol Rovers fans are very impressive. This one holds 12.3 thousand. It's called the Memorial, and do you know what? I really enjoyed this experience. Bristol Rovers is a great away day. I like the stadium. Next up, you got Fleetwood Town. Out of the small stadiums, I'd say I like this one the most in terms of how new it is and the look of the stadium. It's quite neat, but it is a small stadium. It's the third smallest, with 5,300 being the capacity. I don't want to base stadiums just on capacity, but when you're in League One, you can't say it's a particularly great stadium when it's that small. It's about right for Fleetwood, but it's a small stadium. Next up, you've got Port Vale. I like this one as well. Vale Park, quite an interesting looking stadium. Not many stadiums look like this. The only flaw I'd have with it is the steps aren't particularly big, so I felt like I was looking at the backs of people's heads when I was in the away end here, but the atmosphere is really good. The Port Vale fans can really get a good atmosphere going. I've been a couple of times actually, and I really do like this one. The capacity is 15,000, so that is just in the top half for capacities in the League One stadium rankings here. I'm going to say it's a great stadium. Let me know if you're a Port Vale fan, if you agree. Could it do with some modernising? Possibly, but I like it nonetheless. Next up, we've got Oxford United, and it is the Kassam. This is middle of the range, 12.5 thousand. And the thing that bugs me is when I've been, only 3 stands have been open, and I feel like it's hard to judge when it's like that. I'm not trying to take too much away from it, because if it had one more stand, which was equivalent to any of the other stands, it'd be quite a neat stadium. Regardless, I still think it's decent. I think if it had 4 stands, I'd bump it up. But for now, Oxford United, going in decent. I quite like it. Next up, Sheffield Wednesday, easily in class. Hillsborough, what a stadium. So much history behind it, but they used to hold FA Cup semi-finals there, and obviously it's got so much history. Like I say, Sheffield Wednesday being a big club, playing in the top flight for so long. It's the biggest stadium in this division now after Sunderland's promotion last season, and yeah, it's a great away day for any of the League One fans. Next up, you've got Ipswich Town, also a big stadium with a big amount of fans going, obviously a big club with history as well. Ipswich Town also have to go in class with Portman Road. It's the 4th biggest with a capacity of 30,000, and yeah, decent away day as well. I feel like there's a fair few things you can do when you go away to Ipswich. I like this one. Next up, you've got Plymouth Argyle. Oh, this is an interesting one. Plymouth Argyle Stadium is quite unique. 18.6 thousand is the capacity, so that's in the top 10 for capacities. I think it's unique. I'm not going to quite put it in class. I'm going to put it in great. I do like Plymouth. I really rate their fans, to be honest. Probably in the top 5 fan bases in this division, possibly in the top 3. They're just brilliant on the road. The stadium's quite nice. The away end is behind the goal, which I quite like. bit of an interesting stadium. I'm going to put it in great. Next up, probably one of my favourite away days is at Fratton Park. I love this ground. I've only been once, to be fair, but what an atmosphere when I went. I went and saw Portsmouth 3, Coventry 3. What a game, what a set of fans, and what a stadium. It's about 20,000. Portsmouth get great home numbers and away numbers, to be honest, for a League One club. Obviously, they used to be a Premier League club when I was growing up. Yeah, Portsmouth going straight up in class. Fratton Park is one of my personal favourites. Next up, Pride Park, a ground I got to for the first time last season. I actually went twice last season, and I was so impressed by the Derby fans when I went to that Derby versus Birmingham game in particular. It was the biggest attendance we saw in a Championship game last season, and I tell you what, they were very impressive, those Derby fans. Obviously so passionate. Obviously they've gone down. It's really frustrating that the fans can't control what's going on off the pitch, but hopefully they can look forwards soon and be looking to go upwards soon. Great stadium nonetheless. Very loyal bunch of fans at Derby County, and yeah, I do rate this stadium quite a lot. Class. Next up, Barnsley, and I'm a big fan of Oakwell. Do you know what? I'm also going to put it in class. It's not one of the biggest in the division. It's the 7th biggest with a capacity of 23,000. But I just like this away day. I've been a few times. It always used to be a good game when my team Coventry played Barnsley. I feel like I've had some decent away days here. Do you know what? Decent location as well. You walk down the hill to it, and there's a few little bits and pieces, pubs and sarnie shops and stuff nearby. They're a decent set of fans. Barnsley, obviously most Yorkshire clubs do have a decent set of fans, and Barnsley, yeah, I like their stadium. Oakwell is class. Next up, Accrington Stanley. I haven't actually done this one. It's the smallest ground with a capacity of 5,000, the Crown Ground. It's going in small. Massive respect for Accrington as a club, what they're doing, but it's not a big stadium. Probably right for Accrington though. Next up, Bolton Wanderers and their stadium, the Uniball, used to be the Reebok. Anyway, regardless, I like this stadium. Haven't been when it's been full. I would like to go to a game when it is a full capacity there, but a decent away day. I must say the Bolton fans were very passionate when I went. It was in the season when they were getting relegated from League One, and their fans were still right behind them, so it goes to show what a loyal fan base Bolton Wanderers have, and that place could be really rocking if they can push towards the playoffs next season. Decent stadium, decent set of fans. Do you know what? No, class. Straight up in class for Bolton. Next up, Cambridge United. It is the Abbey Stadium, the 7th smallest with a capacity of 8,200. I don't think it fits in the small category though. I think it can just sneak into decent. I haven't actually done this one, so I would like to go and try the atmosphere out here. I've heard decent things about the Cambridge fans. I'll put their stadium in decent, just from what I've seen in pictures and videos. Next up, Charlton. Great away day. I love going to the Valley. I've always said like going to London away days, but this one is a very nice stadium. Obviously Charlton, a club that I associated with being in the Premier League when I was growing up, down in League One, mid-table last season, and if they can go on a playoff charge this season or a promotion push, then they can really fill that stadium and get it rocking. I do like Charlton. Decent away end behind the goal, so away fans do like that one. Forest Green Rovers are next. Congratulations on getting promoted, but the new lawn is the second smallest, pretty much the same size as Accrington's, to be honest, 5,000, so I'm going to put it in small. Obviously decent for Forest Green. They're not going to need a 20,000 seater stadium just yet. Obviously if they grow as a club they could do in the future, but we're talking about the present, and in League One it's a pretty small stadium. Next up, Lincoln City, Sincil Bank. Do you know what? It's an interesting one, this. 10,800 is the capacity, but they get a good atmosphere. I think I'm putting this down to Lincoln's fans being pretty passionate, and I was tempted to put it in decent, but you know what? I'm going to slide it into great. I like the away end for this one. I'm going to put Lincoln City in great. Next up, we've got Morecambe. It's the Globe Arena with a capacity of 6,500, making it the 4th smallest. Once again, I am being mean by barging it into small. Obviously, congratulations on Morecambe as a club being in League One and staying in League One last season. Brilliant achievement, but it means, obviously, not many fans can get to this. I don't know what the away end holds. It might be about 1,000 or so, maybe a little bit more, but I'm going to put it in small. Next up, Shrewsbury Town. I like this. Do you know what? This is a very... I don't mean this in an insulting way, but it's a nice middle of the range League One stadium because it holds 10,000, and that is right for Shrewsbury, and I quite like this as a sort of typical League One stadium. I'm not trying to say it's bog standard. I think it's better than that. I just like how simple it is. I quite like this stadium because the away end is decent, the home fans are pretty decent. I'm going to just put it in decent. Next up, you've got Wycombe Wanderers, Adams Park. It holds 9,500. It's a decent away day. The away end's behind the goal as well, and I always like that. I'll put it in decent. And then last up, you've got Stadium MK, where I think as a stadium, as a facility, you can't doubt that it is a class stadium. And the away fans, honestly, you could take thousands. As a Coventry fan, I feel like we always take 7,000 or 8,000. Brilliant, brilliant away end. Every time I've been, MK have never been able to sell it out, but they can make decent noise. I think as a stadium, though, it is class. So then, guys, that wraps up my ranking of the League One stadiums for the upcoming 22-23 season. Let me know if you agree down below. I do feel like I've ranked it on size a bit, but I'm trying to rank a bit of character there as well. Let me know your thoughts down below. It's all opinions based. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.